Sounds like it's going to help a whole lot more people than just bloating. Go to lovemytummy.com/Spoony.
No, man, it can't be time. I'm still on my lunch break. What the hell? It can't be time for the show. Oh, hold on. Wow. Okay. Sorry, folks. Caught me off guard there, yeah. Thank you, Summy, for bringing these wonderful burgers from Griff's Burgers here in the beautiful Haltom City. No, I really forgot what time it was. No, I didn't. I was just really hungry.
I love Griff's Burgers.
They're so good, aren't they?
They are really good. Didn't they rebuild? They rebuilt it.
Yeah, that thing burned. And it burned. Yeah. It burnt down to nothing.
That's right.
Yeah, that poor place. So I'd been there like 3 times when I first moved up to Dallas, and Doc and I would go there. Well, 3 times apparently. And I drove by one day. I was starving, really craving a burger from there. And I drove by and I was like, whoa, man, what happened? Where's my burger joint? And yeah, it was nothing but rubble. And it took them about 6 months to rebuild.
They did. And it's much nicer in there now.
Yeah, it's a lot nicer.
Burgers are still just as good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tasty. Griff's Burgers, they're over here on Belknap in Haltom City. Nope, they're not paying me to advertise. They just taste really yummy. So if you're watching today on Facebook Live, there's some, I don't know, Facebook's all messed up today. You know what? That's what happens when you have several billion users, I think. Sometimes the system just gets overwhelmed. But you can feel good about this. At least you did not go to Imelda Marcos' 80th birthday party or 90th birthday party. It was her 90th birthday party. Did you hear about that, Ron?
I did. I heard a lot of people got sick.
About 260 people.
Was it? It was the food, right?
Yeah. So they came down with some sort of food poisoning. For those of you that don't remember who she is, Imelda Marcos was very, very, very famous, actually, for a shoe collection, but even more so for her deceased husband, who died in Hawaii a while back. He was in exile in Hawaii. There was a coup back in the mid-'80s to overthrow the regime that was the Marcos. What was his name? Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Yeah. That's right. Oh no, that's the son. So Ferdinand Marcos. Anyway, there was a coup. They overthrew the government, and they were kicked out. And they apparently swindled something like $10 billion from the wonderful people of the Philippines in their reign. He was he was dictator for like 20 years, something like that. And so they had they overthrew the government. They kicked him out. He went to exile in Hawaii, where he passed. But they never found like 85% of the money. And Imelda Marcos was actually convicted, I think last year, to 40 years in prison for starting nonprofit foundations to hide the money that they had stolen from the people 30 years ago. And she's still not in jail. Anyway, so they had this celebration for her birthday, her 90th, and apparently there were about 2,000 people at the event. 260 ended up in hospitals on Wednesday after they apparently fell ill from food poisoning during the 90th birthday celebration of Imelda Marcos, the former First Lady of the Philippines. They suffered from vomiting and dizziness, and they had to call out the Philippine National Red Cross to deploy emergency teams to a sports complex east of Manila where the party was held. Mr. Gordon, who is also a Philippine senator, said hundreds of the estimated 2,000 at the event apparently became ill after eating meat stew and eggs. It's actually called, I think it's egg and adobo, or adobo and egg, I think is the name of the dish. Anyway, there's some pictures on Twitter. Here's the funny thing. Her daughter, I believe it's her eldest daughter, Amy Marcos. She's 63, and she took office as senator this week as well. How does that happen? You oust the family that's in power, that's basically raping the country, takes $10 billion, and then you start electing their offspring. That sounds like D.C. to me. Sounds like wasn't there a mayor that had a nose candy problem or something? Anyway, so she's 63. She just took office as a senator. She said, the food may have been spoiled, but we remain solid. Anyway, I feel sorry for those that got ill. You were trying to do probably what you thought was a nice thing and celebrating her birthday, and you end up in the hospital. I hope you're all well. Food poisoning. I wonder what the number one food poisoning, or most common food, not number one, most common food poisoning poisoning on 4th of July? No, I'm not hoping you get it, guys. I'm hoping I'm going to give you some tips and tricks not to get ill on 4th of July, because we all tend to have picnics. And picnics means we don't refrigerate our food properly most of the time on 4th of July. All right. Well, I don't know. But all I can tell you is keep things iced. Here are the things that you really need to watch for. Stuff with mayonnaise in it, salads, potato salad. A lot of times, if you're like me and you're in a rush, you cook your potatoes, you make your dressing, whatever. It's usually mayonnaise-based or whatever you have, mustard if you want. But if it's mayonnaise-based and all the other ingredients you add in there, if you mix that with warm potatoes, you're basically... You're creating a jungle gym for bacteria. I remember I was at a picnic one time, and a relative had put was it macaroni salad? I think it was potato salad, but they'd packed it in these big 1 gallon glass jars, like giant mason jars. And yes, I'm still eating. Forgive me, but I'm hungry. They packed them in these clear jars, and then they proceeded, and it was warm, and they proceeded to sit on the table in the sun during the party. You open it, you got some, you closed it back up. And I don't remember how many people got ill or became ill, but warm mayonnaise, starch, and a sealed container with very little oxygen is a bad recipe. Typically, it's a recipe for... Nah, you know what? We're not going to go into the specifics. We're not. It's botulism, all right? Anything where you would reduce the oxygen level or you remove the oxygen and you basically put this food in a warm environment in an oxygen-free container, place, whatever you happen to, whether you vacuum seal it or it's just a big jar or container of whatever you're making, that's bad news. Like when you take... chili, like a big pot of chili, and you just you let it cool a little bit, and then you just throw it in a big container and you put it in the fridge. Not good, my friends, and it's twofold. A, that big batch of chili is giving off a lot of heat, and it basically raises the temperature of the entire refrigerator. All right, so you need to let it cool first. And the other thing is that now you have this chili where you've been boiling and simmering and boiling and simmering, and you've basically simmered the oxygen out of it. That's where the bubbles come from. And I mean, not exactly, but you simmer as you boil or simmer something that's thick like that. The oxygen reduces, the content reduces, and eventually it's really low oxygen atmosphere. And then you package it, and while it's hot, it starts really breeding bad stuff, really bad. Botulism is not something to be toyed with. I'm just telling you. Anyway, so keep your stuff refrigerated tomorrow. It's a big day, right? It's the nation's birthday. We don't want anybody going to the hospital. I spoke the other day about ways to keep things cold and hot. Any warm foods should be kept above 140 degrees. Why 140 degrees specifically? Well, because below that, that's where bacteria start to, they have a party. They have a real party. And they start to multiply really quickly. There's this little bacterial growth chart. Yeah, I know it's not sexy, but it's interesting. And when you look at it, it's got this very slow, very gradual increase under cool conditions. And when it hits a certain temperature, which is about 40 degrees Fahrenheit, it skyrockets vertically. And in like 2 hours, you're 100-fold the number of bacteria you had when you started. So remember, tomorrow, keep warm, hot food's hot, cold food's cold. The easiest way is to, buy some of those extra aluminum pans, the throwaway kind, or if you have some other large metal or plastic containers that you can fit your smaller containers into, fill them with ice, fill the large container with ice cubes or crushed ice, and set the smaller containers in it. You can also put a little salt on there to, it'll start to melt the ice and actually make it colder. For the containers that need to be refrigerated. Now, if you need to keep food warm, You can do the same thing, but keep it on your grill, maybe on the upper level of the grill if you have one of those, or turn down the heat on one side. And basically you make what's called a steam bath or a double boiler. You take one container and you put about 2 inches of water in it, inch of water. You'll know when you have too much in there because when you place a second empty aluminum pan or other pan in there with hamburgers or hot dogs or whatever you're trying to keep warm, if you have too much in there, then the water just spills out over the side and we'll put the flame out in the grill and you have to start all over again. But yeah, typically about an inch is enough. You just want enough to create a barrier between the two pans so that they're not, you don't want to burn whatever you're trying to keep warm, right? You want to keep it warm, hot enough that it's safe. So again, 140 for hot food and 40 degrees or under for cold food. Trust me, nobody wants to end a 4th of July picnic with a trip to the hospital. All right. So there's a couple other interesting things in food news today before we get to some recipes for the weekend. There is apparently a tortilla shortage. Yes. Fans of Taco Bell are in a panic, especially in the state of, is it Kentucky or Tennessee? I think it's Tennessee. Yes, in Tennessee. People are freaking out because they're short on tortillas. As a matter of fact, a few of these, the Tennessee Valley locations are hoping their supplier truck will show up and deliver them because they're out. They're out. You can no more live mas on 4th of July right now. I don't know what's happened, but apparently there's a shortage on 10-inch tortillas nationwide, and it's a warehouse shortage, which means it's not just, not just like one little store is out, not just like one region is out. It's a nationwide shortage. How do you do that? This is like 80% of your menu at Taco Bell is based on a 10-inch tortilla. You know what your sales are. You have an automated system to reorder. You don't do just-in-time ordering. It's manually done. How can you run out of the number one ingredient that you use? Tortillas. I don't know. Anyway, they better get their stuff straightened out. Not that I'm going to go to eat at Taco Bell this weekend, but they employ a decent number of the citizens of this country, and they provide good tax revenue to the economy. So just get your tortillas together. How can you run out of tortillas? Literally 80% of your menu. Anyway, it's one of the employees said, there's a warehouse shortage nationwide, I believe, of 10-inch tortillas, which, if you don't know, is like half the menu. And then they write and refer to an upcoming tortilla apocalypse. Get your tacos while you can. Anyway, next week I want to cover a few stories. Doc and I used to do a segment about food apocalypse predictions. There's one for the cacao beans. There's one for there's ones for fishing, and there were we did one I think where there were 20 or 30 different ingredients, different plant-based ingredients that were somehow at risk. I want to look into that and see how many of those are if anything's progressed in that. It was always a really interesting story, and then the way that there's this sort of panic mongering around the production and harvest of these products. I'm curious if anything has changed. All right, here's a couple other stories for you. A fire broke out at a Jim Beam warehouse in Kentucky where about 45,000 barrels of whiskey are stored. Firefighters say the blaze could continue for quite some time. I'm not sure if that has actually affected the barrels or not. I would think that they've attempted to move those, but we'll find out. I'll see an update next week, I'm sure. PBR just released a hard coffee because apparently mixing uppers and downers is now okay. A hard coffee. All right. We're talking Pabst Blue Ribbon. Now, if Jim Beam had released a hard coffee, I kind of understand. This is apparently they released a hard coffee with 5% ABV. That's average alcohol by volume. So it's currently being sold in 5 states. And okay, all right. I was confused for a moment because there was a video of something being poured above that was clear. I'm like, that doesn't look like a hard coffee. It was a vodka commercial. So apparently they found a new market subsector within the hipster community as they embrace beer as much as they embrace their coffee. And apparently they thought that there's a niche for this. So they're looking to boost sales. PBR has suffered a little bit of a loss lately, and they've been releasing every modern spin-off that you can think of in the book, really. They've done everything they can. And they released a higher alcohol version, a higher strength, and then a non-alcoholic version of PBR. Okay, no offense. I've drank my fair share of PBR over the years, and I'm by no means a beer snob. But if you're going to drink PBR, is there any point without the alcohol, really? I mean, no, there isn't a point. There isn't. That's like drinking, if you're going to non-alcoholic Bud Light, non-alcoholic Coors Light. No. The only reason you drink it is for the alcohol, I would think. There's also, I mean, they're really grasping here. They have a PBR whiskey that's coming out. Now they have the hard coffee. I have a feeling that PBR may be on its way out. They're grasping at straws, and I'm not sure that they've done their homework on all this stuff. It does sound interesting. I mean, they say that their new hard coffee will be among the first of its kind in the industry, a fun and deliciously unique drink made using Arabica and Robusta coffee beans and rich, creamy American milk. I'm glad to know the milk isn't imported, resulting in a great tasting vanilla infused premium iced coffee with 5% with a 5% alcohol by volume kick. The can looks good, you know. It's basically a PBR can that's beige brown with a blue ribbon on it. Yeah, I don't know though. I'm not sure that it just doesn't sell me. What business does a beer company have making coffee? I mean, what are they adding into that? They can't be putting beer into it. Well, here you go. So their rating right now, PBR hard coffee has an uncannily high rating of 4.21 out of 5 stars, putting it in the upper echelon. It's a beer. It's a beer mixed with coffee. Okay, we got to try this. Well, I need to find out if it's sold here. Pennsylvania, Maine, New Jersey, Florida, and Georgia. Damn it. All right, somebody in Pennsylvania, Maine, New Jersey, Florida, or Georgia, please, look, we have a huge following in Pennsylvania. You need to buy a 12-pack and send it to us. Care of Chef Patrick Mosher at Spoony Radio, and that's at 6125 Airport Freeway, Suite 201C, or A or B, doesn't really matter, just 201C. And that's Haltom City, Texas, 76117, I believe. I need to try this. I don't want to, but I need to. And not to mention, if you can find the new PBR whiskey, I'm going to have to try that one as well. I'll post that story. That's interesting. I don't know what they're thinking, but well, this may be even this is either more genius or more bizarre. But, you know, Uber Eats, the whole idea behind Uber Eats is that you order food and they deliver it to your house. They go to the restaurant for you. They bring it to your door. You dine in, you consume your food. It's delicious. Well, they have offered some changes in their apps recently. And one of them is that you could, where was it? They were saying, okay. Apparently, you know, Uber Eats doesn't make any money, right? They don't make it. It's like the home meal kit, the delivery kit, home meal delivery kits. Blue Apron. There are like 30 of them out there. I'm not picking on Blue Apron. I think they're based here in Dallas, so please don't come knocking on the door unless you want to do an interview. None of them make any money, and it's because the cost of labor, basically. And Uber Eats, I don't think that they really make any money. They went public in 2019, and you know, I still don't know if they actually made any money. But they're all over. I mean, they're the largest delivery service outside of China, and the problem is they don't make any money delivering food. It's expensive. So they sold 7.9 billion worth of food on Uber Eats in 2018. Let me say that again. Uber sold $7.9 billion with a B worth of food on Uber Eats in 2018. and they still lost money. They still lost money. How do you lose money selling $7.9 billion? Now, granted, they sold $7.9 billion worth of food. They didn't earn $7.9 billion on the sales because they just charge whatever a flat rate or whatever the percentage is. But so I think this is their solution. They've altered their business model, which now includes an option to order your food to be eaten in at the restaurant. So now you're going to go to an app instead of just calling the restaurant directly, ordering the food, arriving and eating. You're going to basically use Uber Eats app to order your food so you can go to the restaurant and eat it. Now, I'm sure there's got to be some sort of a fee in there. It's typically charged to the restaurant, maybe charged to the diner in this case, but if I'm a restaurant, wouldn't you just advertise that yourself? Say, hey, call us, place your order ahead of time, come on in and dine, we'll have it ready for you. Doesn't that make more sense? Instead of going through a third-party app? I'm not sure changing your business model or adding this feature is I don't think that's the answer to losing money. Now, maybe I'm not the best business professional out there, but I've built several multi-million-dollar companies for other people mostly and watched them, profit greatly from that, and that's okay. But it seems to me that maybe you look at the current business model instead of adding a feature that really has no value and defeats the purpose of your original business model, right? Which I'll talk about Starbucks in a second because we all know how much I hate their new business model. Yeah, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. So you can order ahead of time, drive there and dine in, and we're going to charge you or charge the restaurant instead of just calling the restaurant directly. Anyway, I don't get it. Maybe revise the model. I'm really curious to see where all of this money gets spent. Say they make 10%, $7.9 billion. That's $790 million in revenue last year. Say it's 5%. Okay, that's $400 million in revenue last year. How do you lose money on $400 million in revenue last year by simply delivering food? Now, I don't know if that's... They say that their losses are due to investments in their Uber Eats platform, and then it's basically a loss leader that helps build its overall brand. So, all right, so what they're saying is Uber's saying, we're losing money on this, and it's okay. A loss leader is basically a giveaway. If you go to a store and they say, come on in and you buy, if you buy 2 burgers, get the third kid's meal free. Okay, well, that's fine. But, because it's Joe's Backyard Barbecue and Bar, they know that the adults are each going to have 2 cocktails while they wait, or 1 cocktail while they wait, 1 while they eat, maybe 1 before they, if they're sitting around long enough, maybe 1 before they leave. So it's a loss leader. They're okay giving away something to make a larger profit on the other side of that sale. And there's grocery stores do it all the time. Basically, get this free when you buy 3 of these. Right? It's called a loss leader. So, and that's what they're saying. But I'll have to tell you, I don't buy it. I know Uber. I don't know. Well, how much did Uber do last year in sales? I'm curious now. Uber sales for 2018. Okay. All right. Anyway, yeah, I'm just curious. Uber sales for 2018. Let's see. They so they did 11.3 billion. 11.3. They lost 1.8 billion in 2018, down 15% from a 2.2 billion loss in 2017, according to Uber's self-reported. I don't buy it. If the whole company lost 1.8 billion last year, then why would you have any loss leaders? It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, Chef Patrick Mosher of Food Biz Pro. Wow, we've already devoured the appetizer course, the first course of today's show. And, we didn't even have to have any tortillas with that. But I'm sorry, I'm going to finish my burger here during the break. I'm going to try to without looking too disgusting. If the Facebook Live video is up, just, take a look the other way. Don't watch. I'll be right back.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosher on Twitter at Food Biz Pro.
If you're trying to quit drinking or doing too many drugs, listen to me. You don't know me and we'll never meet. I had a problem like you once. I drank and used to party a little too much till it got out of control and almost ruined my life. I realized I needed help to fix my problem before it totally destroyed me. If you've tried to fix your drinking and drug problem and you know you can't do it alone, you need to call the National Treatment Advisors. They'll immerse you into a 30-day program to replace your old habits with new habits and totally change your life. And if you have PPO private health insurance, the entire program may be covered. Fix your problem right now before it gets any worse. Get clean. Call now and learn more. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395. 800-709-4395.
Man, I need to learn to eat faster in the break here. Still not done with the burger, but actually, Facebook's video live feed is down today. Sorry, folks. Sorry, you don't get to see my ugly mug on Facebook, but you can go to our YouTube channel. That's Spoony Radio on Facebook, and it should be streaming right now. Ron says it's up, and I trust him because he's the man that does that stuff. Anyway. So, yes, Uber Eats. I don't get it. Uber, I mean, how can you lose that much money and still be in business? They're not the only ones, but there are many of them out there. Oh, let's see. What else is in the food news today? Pabst Blue Ribbon, blah, blah, blah. Uber Eats sales. How do you do $11.3 billion in revenue? It's up 43% from the year before. But they still lost $1.8 billion. I don't understand. What is the CEO? What is the CEO making, I wonder? What was his pay? I bet it was a lot, but I'm sure it wasn't $2 billion. That's for sure. Crazy. All right. Go back to some silly food news. Not silly. You know what, actually? I really like patriotic food. And my daughter Bailey, a couple of years ago on 4th of July, or for 4th of July, made a strawberry and blueberry pie. And have fun. I need to put those photos up there. It's beautiful. It has the little wavy, strips of crust to, signify the stripes. And she put the stars in the corner and kind of built that outline. Basically, it's got this negative open space where the strips of dough end in that square corner in the pattern in the upper right-hand corner. It was beautiful. But I was thinking, what are the most iconic foods for 4th of July? Right? What do I think of when I think really American food? And then which one and why? Which ones are which ones are my favorites? Which ones are maybe less favorite? So I was looking through some articles, reading some, grilling tips and tricks, and looking at everything that everybody's making this weekend. I started thinking, what are the first things that come to mind? So it's not the main courses, but really for 4th of July, coming out like 10 or 11 is probably like salads. You get coleslaw, potato salad, macaroni salad. It's really not a complete meal without that. They're, they're cold, they're either creamy, or they may have a salt, a sour flavor to them. Can I tell you what? I love coleslaw that has like a vinegar base to it. If you use apple cider vinegar, just a touch of sugar, salt, pepper, fresh garlic, a little onion powder. Oh man, there's a place in Houston called Claiborne's Deli. It's one of my. It's just a great little place. I want to say it's on. I don't remember what street it's on. Anyway, it's down near Rice Village, near Rice University, and they have the best coleslaw I've ever had. It was so good, I actually bugged the chef until they gave me the recipe. And apparently, everyone asked them for the recipe, so they play coy and deny you the recipe for like 5 days while you make email requests, and then they're finally like, okay, and then they email it to you, and it's like this big fancy piece of paper that has Claiborne's famous coleslaw recipe. I'm like, why didn't you just give it to me the first time? All right, so anyway, I like coleslaw. That's probably my favorite on a hot summer day when you're grilling out. Actually, coleslaw on a burger is really good, or on a blackened fish sandwich. Oh, man, now I'm really hungry. Number 10, I think deviled eggs. I don't think there's ever been a family gathering that I've been to where somebody didn't bring deviled eggs. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not, but I love deviled eggs. The thing I don't like is when there's a lot of pickle relish in there, especially if it's the sweet kind. If you use dill pickle relish, it's fine and dandy. And I don't like it. There just shouldn't be a lot of stuff in the egg yolk mix. When you whip the egg yolks up and you pipe it back into the white, just it shouldn't be chunky. It shouldn't have any crunchy stuff in it. It should just be a pure puree, smooth, maybe a little mayonnaise in there. Of course, it should have mayonnaise in there. Not salad dressing, mayonnaise, and salt, pepper, maybe garlic powder, onion powder, and a little paprika on top. I don't know, just the classic way of serving it. Number 9, baked beans. Baked beans. Why? Well, I mean, I don't know. You can't have hot dogs without baked beans, can you? I don't think you can. Now, I love baked beans, but I'll be honest with you, you don't have to make them from scratch. You can go with the standard stuff in the can, or you can doctor it up. I actually like to add a little molasses, a touch of brown sugar. You can actually add a little bit of vinegar in there, and some other seasonings. I like to get the stuff that doesn't already have all that stuff in it and kind of doctor up myself. And then, of course, if you want them a little spicy, you can add some chopped jalapeno or something in there. Number 8, this is probably, as far as grilling out goes, or outdoor cookouts, holiday fare in the summertime, I really, really love corn on the cob. It's just, I don't know. You get a little kernel stuck on your cheek. It's one of the only foods you're allowed to have on your face and not be embarrassed and people not judge you. How often do you look across the table when you're with your family when you're eating, corn on the cob and go, you get some corn? No, everybody has corn stuck to their face. It's okay. Just dig in, man. Chow down, as Trey would say. Just, and there are two types of people. Those that eat across the ear of corn and those that eat around the ear of corn. Which one are you? Now, you know what? That's our next survey question. Do you eat across the ear of corn or do you eat around it? I think I do both. It just depends on how hungry I am. But I like to, it drives me nuts when there's big spaces of like half-eaten kernels of corn on someone's cob when they're done with it. I'm like, you only ate 8/10 of, what we served you. You're wasting food. Pick that back up and gnaw it off. I don't care if you're missing your two front teeth. Eat it. I'm not cutting it off the cob for you. Eat it. Yeah, I have to say that I was very compassionate. Both the children had braces, and yeah, I mean, it's bad enough you can't eat apples unless they're pre-cut, but not being able to eat corn on the cob. I mean, it's just not the same when you cut it off. There's there was a chef in here on Trey's. Who was in here last week? There was a chef in Jonathan, I believe. He's with Chef Jonathan was on Trey's chat on last week. And he worked for King's Fish House in California in the past. And King's Fish House probably does some of the best corn I've ever had. And the way they do it is they actually take the whole ear of corn and they cut off all the kernels. They have one guy that pretty much sits in the kitchen and just cuts corn off the ears all day long. He shucks it, he cuts it, shucks it, he cuts it. So it's cut fresh, and then they saute it, and they just saute it. It's got a little salt and pepper on it, a little bit of olive oil, and it is fantastic. But that's one of their most famous side dishes. They have that. King's Fish House, they have a New Orleans style peel and eat barbecue shrimp. So they serve, well, they're not head on. They should be. The flavor is much better, by the way. I know as Americans, we're kind of fickle. We don't want to see the face of what we're eating. Just buck up. An animal died. Something died for you to eat it. Yes, even a plant died. Okay? So I don't want to hear any vegetarians yelling and screaming at me. But yeah, so they have this New Orleans style barbecue shrimp. And it's one of my favorite dishes. I used to do this in a different restaurant, kind of a similar thing. But you take a plastic bag, and you portion this dry rub into these plastic bags. When it's time for an order, you grab your 6 or 8 shrimp and you throw them in the bag and you shake it up and you just let it sit for about 4 or 5 minutes on the counter. And then to start the dish, you do it in a cast iron skillet and you heat some oil in there, a little bit of olive oil, and then you throw the shrimp in to start browning them. And then you throw in diced tomato. After you basically brown the one side, you turn it over, you brown the other side. It's starting to brown. You add in the diced tomatoes. There's a little bit of, I want to say, tomato juice. There's apple cider vinegar and a couple of other ingredients that go in. And then you take a half a lemon, and you squeeze it and then throw the whole half a lemon in there. And then you just let that simmer down to it's nice and thick and rich, and you serve that with, and you serve it right in the skillet with a big hunk of crusty French bread on the side or toasted bread of any sort. It is, yeah, I'm trying not to drool on the table here. It's amazing. Actually, you can find that recipe online. If you go to King's Fish House and look up, I think it's N_AWLINS, Nolans, barbecue shrimp or peel and eat shrimp, you can find the exact recipe for it. It is awesome. They give you the exact recipe too. They don't hide anything. They don't take any ingredients out. They run a number one establishment. So that whole group does a good job. All right, so back. That was corn on the cob, which went a little off track, but we're back now. Number 7, cheap beer in solo cups, I think, has got to be next. That's kind of one of the quintessential must-haves at your barbecue, especially on 4th of July. I think, what percentage of the population do you think over-imbibes on 4th of July? I'll bet of the portion of the population that's of legal drinking age and that actually consumes alcohol, I'll bet it's 50+%. I'm not saying they're driving because, normally you hang out at the party long enough, but I'll bet 50+%. And it has to be the red Solo cup. It can't be the blue ones. It can't be the yellow ones. It has to be the red one. I mean, there's a song about it, for Christ's sake. All right. Next one is maybe s'mores. I think s'mores, people love them, but I think we think about them way too little. Man, there's just something about that crispy graham cracker. And look, don't get, okay. One of the important things about s'mores is that the graham cracker has to be the right graham cracker. Yes, I'm shaking my fry at you for you gluten-free folks, and this is why. Nothing against gluten-free. Really nothing. But I've had to do parties for people that wanted gluten-free s'mores. And it just doesn't work. The ratio of to more is not right. So the graham cracker's too thick. And unless you have a giant marshmallow and 3 or 4 chunks of chocolate, it just doesn't work. And here's why. When you sandwich that toasty marshmallow on top of the chocolate in between 2 graham crackers, when you go to bite it, the cracker never breaks. If you've had gluten-free graham crackers, they're like an inch. I swear they're half an inch thick. They have a good crisp texture, but they are so thick that when you bite it, the marshmallow squirts out the side, the chocolate drips down your shirt, and you never get a bite. If you're lucky, a little bit of the marshmallow, squishes out in your direction, but then it typically burns your tongue. So you have to have, just get the good ones. Get the good old, don't get honey graham crackers. They're too sweet. Don't get that one. Get the regular old graham crackers. You know the brand. Yeah, Keebler, it doesn't matter which one, any of them. They're really good. But it has to be the thin graham crackers, okay? Graham crackers? Graham crackers. You can't do gluten-free. If you have to do gluten-free, then do it like an open-faced sandwich. No cracker on top. And then let your marshmallow cool down. All right. Let's see. Cheap Air S'mores. Next is, I hate to put this so far down the list, but number 5 is hamburgers. Yeah. I love hamburgers, but it's not my go-to food for 4th of July. It's just not. Now, I did compare my my list to another list here, and I'm going to show you. We're pretty much dead on as far as the types of food by so far, right? But, I don't care if it's plant-based, if you made it at home, if you bought it at the store, it's a frozen patty or a fresh patty, you got to have a hamburger to grill out, okay? But even more importantly, and this list, this is where I differed. Their number 4 was hot dogs. No, can't. Now, it's got to be further up. Now, I might put something like fried chicken here or like a fruit pie, some sort of a pie that's seasonal right now, cherry. Ooh, cherry pie right now when the cherries are fresh. That's good. And then again, blueberry, apple, anything that has fresh spring berries. But hot dogs are not number 4 on the list, folks. Hot dogs have to be number 2 or 1. And the reason I say that is because, come on, man, it's like they have the annual Nathan's hot dog eating contest. Hot dogs got to be number 1 or 2. Can't be number 4. But there's actually a new documentary that's coming out on ESPN that revolves around the drama of Nathan's the Nathan's hot dog eating contest they have every year in Coney Island. I haven't seen it yet, but it's not pretty to watch. Have you ever seen the contest? It's not pretty to watch. Anyway, so 4, 3, 2, 1. I would have gone fried chicken is number 4. Number 3 is any sort of a fruit pie. Number 2 has got to be hot dogs. And number one is anything red, white, and blue. So I guess one of the fruit pies might have worked there. Cakes are always nice that way. The white icing, and then blueberries and strawberries for the decoration on top to make the stars and stripes. Raspberries work pretty well as well. You can do kind of a white frosting. Ooh, buttercream frosting. Got to do buttercream. But then you make rows with the raspberry side by side, the length of the cake, and then just cover the top left corner with the blue for the stars and stripes, or for the actual blue field for the stars. Yeah, fruit pies. Man, peach pie. Ooh. People don't make peach pie enough. Everyone makes peach cobbler, peach. What else can you make with peaches? Grilled peaches. Ooh, grilled peaches with a little honey. Oh, man. All right, I think peaches are way underrated. But that's one of 2 ways, right? The peaches are great if you get the freestone peaches. The ones where you cut them, you can they fall right off the stone. The clingstone, not my favorite. It's too much work. Now, if you're eating them out of hand, that's fine. But if you're going to cook with them, it's really kind of a pain. But grilled peaches are one of my favorite summertime snacks. You can make just a really light whipped cream with a little mint, maybe honey in there. And then you grill the peaches and just drizzle a touch of honey on, a little dollop of, grilled peaches. You actually take the peach and you cut them in half, right? And then you spray them with a little cooking oil and you put them on the grill and you grill them until they get char marks and you turn them over and grill the other side. And then, you just cut them in half, and then you can cut those in half again into quarters, kind of stack them a little bit, and a little drizzle of honey, or actually put the whipped cream on top, and then drizzle the honey over the top of that, just a little drizzle there on the plate. It's really delicious. It's fantastic. And if you wanted, you could actually take those and saute them in a pan with maybe a touch of brown sugar, a little bit of water, a little lemon juice, and a pinch of salt, and then let that cook down and serve it over some really nice vanilla ice cream. Ooh. All right. Well, the Griff's burger hit the spot, but now it's time for dessert. Let's see. What are some other red, white, and blue ideas? Oh, this is a neat idea. They actually took a brie cheese, and they cut a star. Brie has kind of not a casing, but it has a rind on it that's edible. That white rind. They took and cut a star shape out of the top. They had a small brie. It's like a 4-inch brie. They cut a star shape out of the top and they filled the middle with pomegranates. They just served it that way though, and then they took that top that they had cut off and they served it on top of a bowl of pomegranates. Well, that's okay, but I think if you took that now and you maybe drizzled some honey over the pomegranates and then baked that whole thing in the oven, so the cheese kind of started to collapse in on the pomegranate seeds. Oh man, baked brie is definitely underrated. They have these red, white, and blue strawberries that come from looks like Instagram. This is kind of cute. What they did is they took the strawberry and they left a little bit of the top. They held it by the stem, left a little of the top showing, but they dipped it into melted white chocolate to cover maybe 3/4 of the berry. And then they rolled they left a little bit of the white chocolate showing, but they rolled the rest or dipped it into blue decorative sugar. This is kind of cool. Here. All right. Easy with the knives, Patrick. And they're here for a reason, folks. I didn't get lazy. And let's see. Kind of cool. You see that? Very cute. All right. What else? And that would be something fun to do with the kids, especially for 4th of July. All right. And no, I do not want to log into Instagram. All right. Go back. There we go. And then, here's another one. Okay. I gotta, no. This one is a fail. This is red, white, and blue potato salad recipe. They basically took a potato salad and it looks like there's little pieces of bacon in it, which is fine, right? That's fine. That's supposed to indicate the red, but then they just kind of stuck blueberries all over it, and there's some mixed in. That's just wrong. I like blueberries, and I like potato salad, but you can't mix them. I'm sorry. That one's a fail. Sorry, PBS. Yeah, you could have done better on that one. With the resources you have, yeah, I'm not impressed. All right, so let's see. At least there are comments today. Let's see. Comments. Oh, actually, hey, the World Food Championship, the next World Food Championship is going to be held here in Dallas. I believe it's at, what is it, Victory Tower, whatever the tower? Yeah, downtown, in downtown Dallas. It's going to be here in October this year. So it's a week. It's the top 10 round, right? It's going to be one whole week, probably about close to 1,000 chefs competing. And they have a new sponsor, actually. It's America's Best Caviar. They're the official infusion sponsor of the World Seafood Championship. So, if you listened to the show yesterday, Mark Conway called in. He's the host of Family Meal, but he has a new show actually starting, I think, on Saturday. And, Ron, I probably need to talk to you about that. I need some graphics and stuff. But it's called, Food Sport Magazine? And so he's going to be covering the world of food sport every week. And the largest competition of that in the U.S. is the World Food Championships. The founder, Mike McLeod, has been in studio with me, with myself, also with Trey Chapman here in studio. And it's fascinating. It's 1 week of unscripted, live, raw cooking in 10 different categories. That determines the 10 winners who go to final table, which, if you've been listening to the show at all, they just had last year, the final table from last year's 10 finalists was just down in New Orleans about a month ago. And started out as 10 in the first round, and then it went to 5, and for the final round it was 3. And they crowned one winner whom it has not been announced, but I believe that comes out on CNBC around the 24th, I want to say, of August. I'll get that date, though. But anyway, congratulations to America's Best Caviar as the official infusion sponsor of the World Seafood. You know what? I think that I believe that the Jelly Queen, Donna herself, actually, I think that there's a new category as well. Something about biscuits. I'm going to have to look and see. I want to say... Yeah, I'll have to look that up. And see, because there's some more celebrations to go around, and kudos to be given to some of the other past participants who are kind of iconic and just mainstays at all the events. All right, let's see here. What else we got? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, no, I don't want to go to Instagram. Dang it. Please stop trying to send me to Instagram. All right, comments today. People keep asking who has won the ice cream. Yesterday we asked, if you missed, what is your favorite store-bought or readily available store-bought brand of ice cream? And we had all sorts of stuff. There were Stewart's ice cream shops from the Northeast. I think I chose Tillamook Creamery up in Oregon. There's a couple others that agreed. We had a lot of, there were a couple of gelatos. I don't remember specifically who they were. I think, let's see, of course, Bluebell ice cream, because we're here in Texas, of course. But let's see. This Pat Gamir, RW&B red, white, and blue Italian potato salad on Real Food, Real People. I don't know what red, white, and blue Italian potato salad is, but I'll have to look that up. Travis Watkins says, if I wanted a red, white, and blue potato salad, I'd just use red skinned potatoes and blue potatoes. Yeah, they're purple, but close enough. It's not as bright as adding fruit would, but would taste better. I agree. Yes, with blue potatoes. Correct. I agree, Pat. Let's see. There are more comments here. Can I find them? Is it going to show me all the comments? Man, why does it not want to show me all the comments? It makes me watch the video, and there's no video. So, let's see. Somebody said it's Friday. Oh, Travis says, yay, it's Friday. If you work the rest of the week, just ignore this. Howdy to everyone who might be here. I'm listening on iHeart while hanging out here. You're not missing anything today, Travis. There's worse news. There's worse news out of Kentucky. Jim Beam lost more than 45,000 barrels of whiskey in a fire. Yeah, there is worse news out of Kentucky. Travis Watson, cool. I'm not the only one here. Blah, blah, blah. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, no. Okay. Relish in deviled eggs? Don't think so. Pat, you've never put relish in deviled eggs at all? It's okay. I'm telling you, it's only okay. It's okay. Can you put it in tuna salad then? Can you put relish in tuna salad? Pat, I'm asking you. For me, it's okay. It's not my favorite. Let's see. No, that's pretty much all the comments today. Yeah, again, if you're trying to join us on Facebook Live today, the video stream, there's something, it's been going wacky all day on Facebook. I was trying to download some images to finish a presentation project that I have, and didn't work so well because I actually couldn't download anything. So, let's see. I can't even do it on my phone now. All right. Anyway. Jeffrey, my partner Jeffrey Klein's in a meeting right now, so send him some positive thoughts out there in California. He's in a behind closed door meeting in a clandestine location that I could tell you about, but I'd probably have to kill you. No, actually, I've kind of mentioned a little bit. We're working with a group out there. Fantastic restaurant group trying to spur some growth. So as that moves along, I'll have lots and lots of updates, hopefully, as we, there's like 4 or 5 restaurants nationwide, and then 40 to 70 other restaurants, smaller, but overseas in a very specific country. So as that moves along, I'll be able to get a lot more details. But, I'd like to get a signature on a piece of paper first. Before the show started today, I had a quick call with my sister. I was on Facebook. No, I was not. I was on Instagram. And if you're on Instagram, please go to Instagram and follow at Spoony Radio. And then also follow at Food Biz Pro. Yeah, that would be me. You can look me up by Patrick Mosher as well. But I do a little post on there every day now. It's a little live video or a quick video just introducing the show and giving you a heads up that we're going to launch within, an hour and 90 minutes, whatever it is. Go look at today's video. It's pretty funny. I actually caught producer Ron napping in a chair. So I was like, do I wake him up before the show? Do I let him nap? I think I can launch on my own. I'm not sure. So anyway, he kind of opened one eye, gave me a wave, went back to sleep. But yes, first attempt. Hopefully it's somewhat entertaining. You can see my messy desk and all. But I was on there really quickly, and I'll have to wait till after the break. But I saw some mentors of mine on there, and it prompted me to give my sister a call, she's gonna come on the air with me next Monday. My sister Karen, who's a life coach and business coach, and just an all around, wonderful person and badass. She and her husband Kevin Carey Yeah, we're going to talk a little business and why it's important to, why it's important to do something, preferably as early as you can in your career, even if you don't know what you're going to do. Anyway, Chef Patrick Mosher, the Food Biz Pro. Wow, second course is done. We've devoured the appetizer, the soup and or salad. The entree's up next. I don't know what we're going to talk about, but I'm sure it's food and something about drink. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
This is the only 24-hour take-anywhere platform dedicated to food and fun. We're Spoony.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Major U.S. indexes are closing at record highs on this holiday-shortened trading day. The Dow easily beat the record it marked back in October, gaining 179 points today to 26,966. The S&P 500 closed at its third straight record high, up 23 to 29.95, and the Nasdaq also closing at a record, ahead 61 points today to 81.70. President Trump insisting that he's not dropping efforts to include a citizenship question on the upcoming census. White House correspondent Greg Clugston reports.
Even though the U.S. Census Bureau has started the process of printing new census questionnaires, the president says the push to include a citizenship question is not over. He tweets that news reports about dropping the effort are incorrect and fake. We are absolutely moving forward, he writes. And that has caused confusion because Mr. Trump's statement contradicts his own administration. Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross says the census forms are being printed without the question. Greg Clugston, the White House.
Also at townhall.com, many of us are traveling over the long July 4th holiday. Correspondent Rita Foley reports.
A record-breaking 49 million of us are trying to get somewhere by car, plane, train, bus, or even cruise ship, says the AAA. Top destination, Orlando, followed by Honolulu, Seattle, Las Vegas, and Anaheim, California, home of Disneyland. The worst day on the road? Today. Holiday travelers are battling for road space with commuters. Why are so many Americans traveling for this holiday? Well, everybody's got money and a job, says the AAA, taking note of the good economy. I'm Rita Foley.
Women's World Cup in Lyon, France. The United States beating England 2-1 on Tuesday and will now face the winner of today's Netherlands-Sweden matchup for the championship. More of these stories at townhall.com.
Now you can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
800-452-1075. 800-452-1075. That's 800-452-1075. Got an old car? You can donate it, whether it's running or not, to the United Breast Cancer Foundation and save a life. They'll even come and pick it up for free. The United Breast Cancer Foundation has saved hundreds of women's lives through their free or low-cost breast screen exams. But now they need your help. The United Breast Cancer Foundation wants to save more lives through early detection by offering women free or low-cost breast screening exams. And donating your old car, SUV, or truck, whether it's running or not, helps pay for them. Plus, you get a charitable tax deduction. Help the United Breast Cancer Foundation save lives by donating your old car, SUV, or truck. Call now for free pickup. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. 800-245-0823. Call right now. That number again is 800-245-0823.
Never Forgotten Apparel is more than just a premium women's and men's clothing line. It's a movement to remind us to wear American-made and serve those who serve us. Our heroes. Never Forgotten Apparel gives 20% of their total sales to nonprofits that support homeless veterans and off-duty firefighters, and 50% to individual veterans and firefighters in need nationwide. Check out neverforgottenapparel.com. Use promo code MATT, M-A-T-T, and get 15% off your purchase.
Yep. Yeah, I'm still okay. I had 4 minutes. 4 minutes to leave the room, take the fries with me, shove them in my mouth, and be done. So what do? I spend 4 minutes walking around, saying goodbye to people that are leaving the studio. Bye, Summy. Have a great. Hey, by the way, Summy Schick, thank you for running to grab lunch today. And he brought a gallon of like raw unpasteurized milk, which is awesome, by the way. I'm not recommending you try it or not, but if you've never tried it and you want to, it's so good. It's like 10 times better than just plain whole milk. Oh, anyway, yeah. So out there shaking hands, kissing babies, instead of eating off camera. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's it's kind of a habit from being a chef. We're used to eating over a trash can in about 30 seconds every shift. Eat a whole meal in 30 seconds. That's it, over a trash can. Because you know why? Because you can't eat a meal in 30 seconds. You're always putting too much in your mouth, so it just kind of it's just not pretty. It's not pretty. You don't ever want to watch a chef eat. It's
You remind me of the commercial. Remember Tootsie Roll? How many legs does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll pop? Right?
2, 3. Yep.
Yeah.
I do remember that. The owl, right?
Right.
The
absolutely.
wise old.
How many bites does it take for a chef to finish his hamburger?
Well, actually, hamburger takes more than I usually expect. I'm like, I can get this done before the show starts. No, I can't. I'm a third of the way through. And Griff's burgers are big. That was good, huh?
That was good eating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So, if you're just joining us today, Facebook Live is down, I say. So, you know what? Let's go on over. Oh, you asked me what we talked about earlier, Jeff? Figure me this. Riddle me this, Riddler. Okay. Uber did $11.3 billion in sales last year.
Wow.
Okay. It was 43% higher than in 2017.
Okay.
Okay. They still lost $1.8 billion in 2018.
Wait.
They made $11.3 billion, which was an increase in like almost 45% in sales. You don't have to do the math. I'm just think about that. They did $11.3 billion and they still lost 1.8. So they lost, 15, it's like 12% of their total earnings.
How is that possible?
Okay, so here's the fun. So Uber Eats, right? Uber Eats last year did. Uber Eats did. I had it in here. Uber Eats did like 7.9 last year. Okay, actually, this isn't completely true. They did $7.9 billion in food sales last year, which meant they probably made, $400 million in total sales on that, right? Because they get a commission. It's between $400 million and $800 million. I don't know what their margin is on that. I don't know how they mark it up. Like, is it just a percentage or they charge the restaurant a flat fee? Okay, but even so, they're blaming their loss last year on they invested into their platform for Uber Eats, and it's a loss leader, meaning they're willing to lose money on Uber Eats so that the entire platform makes money. But the thing is, the whole platform lost money. They still lost $1.8 billion. So I just don't understand how it's the worst business model ever. They have never made money. They've never made money. No, the worst business model ever is actually these home meal kit delivery services. You know, the home kits?
Oh, I do. Yeah.
They lose a lot of money. Blue Apron's been out forever and ever. And look, I'm not knocking Blue Apron. You guys are here. I would love, actually, to come into your facility right here in Dallas, Fort Worth, and have somebody come in and talk. Because I know it's very difficult. I launched one of the very first businesses with a guy named Dr. Stephen Hollingshead. It was called BringDinnerHome.com. I've told you about it. We were too young and dumb to remember that everybody had dial-up, so you can't have 10,000 pictures per page because it took too long to load. But it was great. We were profitable, but we were also small. And so when you start scaling up and you have to ship stuff and you have 15,000 people sorting through vegetables to pick the right one, of the right size, the right shape, the right quantity for your meal to be sent to you, the labor becomes extremely expensive, not to mention the packaging. And so, a lot of these companies, they've never made a penny. Actually, I don't know any that have had a profitable quarter. And I don't know. How long can they keep doing that? Do the companies that gobble these up just need to take the loss every year? Or do they need to earn a penny?
Well, this is where I'm a little confused, right? Because Uber Eats doesn't make the food. Uber Eats, as a company, doesn't actually drive the food to your house. All they're doing is a platform to where they get a percentage of somebody else who wants to be able to drive on behalf of Uber, goes to a restaurant who wants to partner on behalf of Uber, and brings the food to the other person who also kind of partnered on behalf of Uber.
Bing bong, you got it.
How can they lose?
Okay, and so they say that it's an investment in their platform. You know, they also invest in a lot of their websites and their app. But the thing is, they did not invest $1.8 billion in that. They didn't. If they invested $1.8 billion, they'd have a platform similar to Google, right? They didn't put $1.8 billion into it. And so that's why where is this loss going to? I just don't understand it. It's been around for so long. You're contracting people. It's not like you don't know your cost to operate the internal workings of your company. You're a tech company. You're not even a service company. You're a tech company. You own the app which people use to purchase a service. You're a tech company. You don't even employ people to drive people to and from their house. It's an I-9. Contract employee. I just don't understand. And so this is where I'm going with this. I was on Instagram. By the way, I posted a little video showing Ron sleeping in the chair, by the way, that every day about an hour and a half before, I'll post a little video on Instagram, 30 seconds maybe, and I'll talk a little bit about what we're doing, and who knows, just make fun of myself in some way, shape, or form. I really wish I had an Uncle Sam hat on today. I really do, because I like the 4th of July. Anyway. I came across two of my mentors, and one is named Adam Urbanski. He's a very, very, very smart man who mentored me in designing packages to be sold as a consultant, right? How you design that model, not how to make the sale so much as how to reach that client as well. And another one is David Nagel. And David Nagel is kind of, there's like all this old guard of business coaches or life coaches, or I don't know what they used to be called, but one of them is Bob Proctor. Bob Proctor's kind of like the old man on the bench, though. He's been around a long time, and he's a very smart man. Well, David Nagel is one of his proteges, worked for him for a long time, and then, did all sorts of other stuff and developed his own programs. Well, they both affect me very profoundly. David Nagel's like, just basically own your bullshit. All right. So if you screw up, just own it. Right. But he also taught me that you can't be afraid to ask what your value is. You ask for what you're worth. And then, of course, Adam mentored me into designing these packages in a way to reach the customer I needed to reach. So I was thinking about that. And the reason I was thinking about this is it's very hard to be successful in anything these days without having some sort of a mentor. I don't care what business you're in. Now I know this is the Food Biz. There's a reason it's called the Food Biz Pro Show, because I actually love the business of food and food service. When I started cooking, I was already in my 20s when I really started cooking, and I didn't have a mentor. I just started working, and then I went to school, and I was like, this is fun. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, sure, work for Noble, sure. Man, I had no clue. I had no roadmap. I had no goals. But if you look around, no matter what you do, where you work, and what you aspire to be, look around and see somebody doing what you want to do the way that you believe it's done best. And you know what you do? You follow that person. You ask them how they did it. You bug the hell out of them until they teach you, or you buy their book, or you listen to their tapes, or you do something. But invest in yourself. Invest in yourself and find a mentor. It's not imperative. A lot of people succeed without mentors. But I think it's a paramount importance that you have a mentor and kind of decide where you want to be 20 years from now. I know when you're 18 or 19 or 20 or 21 or 22 or 31, sometimes you're like, yeah, man, I'm just going to wing it. I'm pretty good at what I do. I make decent money. I'm going to wing it. I don't need a plan. I don't need a long-term plan. Well, maybe you don't, but it helps if you do. So Monday, my sister Karen Carey and her husband Kevin, they're going to call into the show, and we're going to talk and chat a little bit about finding the right mentor and why it's important. This should be a very interesting conversation since we've never really covered this topic, but I know that she's been a great mentor to me, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm actually going to YouTube right now. No, I don't want to go to that one. I want to go to YouTube. YouTube.com. And I want to see if we're live on there now. You know, I've never watched it stream on YouTube, and if we are there comments? Let's see. That'll work. Yes. I need to. They make you sign in through. Man, Google. They got their hands in everything. They make you sign into Google to sign into Netflix. I mean, to sign into YouTube, not Netflix. All right. So we are going to Spoony Radio. There we go. And I want to see if we're streaming. Oh, 4 are watching. Look at that. Woohoo! Live now. All right. Cool. I had no idea. Oh, I look the same on here as I do on Facebook. Interesting. Video's a little better. Oh, I need a haircut. Damn. Jeff, why didn't you tell me I need a haircut? Anyway, back to the business of business. Jeff, you missed Pabst Blue Ribbon has a coffee coming out, a hard coffee.
Would you explain that to me, please? What is that exactly? A hard coffee?
Alcohol infused coffee. It's basically a beer and a coffee mixed. 5% alcohol by volume.
And how much caffeine by volume?
Same as a cup of coffee, probably. So the thing I said is really what they're telling you now, it's okay to take uppers and downers together.
So really what you have is a wide awake drunk.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess so. Can you be focused and stumbling at the same time? I wonder.
It's like, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop, man?
3. We know it's 3. We've seen. Oh man, you remember do you have a favorite food commercial from when you were a kid?
I like the cereal commercials,
like the Life ones.
I like the Life ones. I also liked it when they came out with Cookie Crisp or the marshmallow ones, the Lucky Charms. I like those also. But I also liked the animal food commercials. Gravy Train, where the dog was chasing
the chuck wagon.
Right. I liked that. Also, what was it? 9 Lives? Was it a cat food?
Meow,
9
meow,
Lives?
meow, 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 meow,
Right?
meow, meow. Oh yeah, I remember that one.
Okay. My goodness, man. I'm having
I
to
remember
really
them all.
go way back in order to remember some of this stuff.
Remember the Shake and Bake one? It's Shake and Bake.
Yes.
And I helped. That was, I don't know why I liked that commercial. What were the other ones? Oh, was it Pepto-Bismol? I can't believe I ate the whole thing.
And that guy looked miserable didn't he?
So
oh man,
did you? I don't know if you heard the story about me eating these potato dumplings in Germany, and I had a beer with them.
Yeah, that was last week. You told that story.
Yeah, I remember telling. I just didn't remember. But that's exactly what I felt like. Like that. I mean, I really thought I was going to explode. That little alien was going to pop out of my stomach. There was a couple other ones. There was my favorite of all time. I think this is by far my favorite. There's 2 Native American guys sitting in the middle of this. They're kind of in the middle of a big meadow, right? But you can't tell that. They're just up against a tree line, like 50 feet away from a tree line. They're sitting on a log. There's a fire. And one of the guys opens up a little tiny bag of Lay's potato chips. And it like echoes through the canyon, right? Because it's so quiet. And the guy goes, "Hey, can I have one?" And the guy looks at him. He looks around. He goes, "But if I give one to you, I have to give one to everybody." And it pans out and it zooms. They're like in the middle of nowhere, Alaska. And there's nothing as far as the eye. It zooms all the way out to almost outer space, right? But that was one of my all-time favorite ones. It was classic. The ones that creep me out are some of the Super Bowl ones, like the Doritos one. What was it? The baby monkey. What was it? The baby monkey puppy monkey baby. Do you remember that? It had a pug.
No.
It had a pug face.
Okay.
And a baby's body or the baby legs and diaper. And then
this is a Super Bowl commercial.
Oh my God! It was the weirdest, creepiest thing ever. It was a baby monkey. Yeah, you've never seen that?
No, I don't have a clue.
Oh no! Wait! It's the.
Hold on. There's more.
Wait, there's more. It's the baby puppy monkey.
What Super Bowl was this?
This was like 2 or 3 years ago. It's the same one I want to say where the dog was running for the Doritos, and he hits that door. He hits the Arcadia door.
No, don't know.
Baby puppy. Oh my gosh, baby puppy monkey. You've never heard this before.
No.
This is quite possibly the creepiest thing I've ever seen. Here it is. I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna show you the picture of the actual. Oh, there we go. Wait. So he's basically bringing him this creature. I don't know what the hell this thing is. It's weird. It's creepy. But he's bringing him like a bucket of that.
Make it a large screen.
Yep.
Enlarge it on your computer and then turn it around.
Hey. Yes, sir. All right, there we go.
Okay, now lift it up. But now hold on.
Here.
There you go, right there.
It's
the
weirdest thing.
I've never seen that before
It's a
in my
baby
life.
puppy monkey. It's got the monkey. It's got a pug head on it. It's got a monkey's torso with arms, and then it's got a baby's legs and a diaper. It's the creepiest thing ever. And it says, "Puppy monkey baby, puppy monkey baby." It's like, what? Remember the wasabi?
Yeah.
Remember those?
You remember 7 Up, where that guy was walking up, hey, up yours. And dude, that was awesome.
Do you remember that? Remember that big? There was one with a big black guy from the Caribbean guy. He goes, 7 Up. Remember that? Remember that? Yeah,
not that one. No,
he was a bald, really big. I don't know. He was kind of a jolly character wearing a white suit, I think. But
African American guy.
Yeah.
He used to. He's passed on now. But
Yeah,
he was
that was
really large. I mean, as far as muscularly built, right?
Yeah, kind
I know
of.
who you're talking about, but I don't remember the commercial.
There was it was an old. I was just a kid when that came out. Let's see. A friend of mine, Coco Woods, went to junior high and high school with him. 7 Up had, I think it was 7 Up. 7 Up. They had a national break dance contest, and the winner was in their video, that commercial. And kid I went to junior high, and we were in 8th or 9th grade, and he won that. So I've looked for that commercial over and over, and I can't find it, but it aired a lot. I need to find that one and just put it up for.
My favorite is commercial of all time. Really, truly, is the Pepsi commercial where they had Britney Spears, Pink, and I cannot remember the third artist, female, and they were dressed they were going into battle like the Roman good gladiators. They were gladiators. You remember what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I swear I love that commercial. I don't know why, but it's just like the way they did it. And it was just, I thought it was brilliant.
You know, it was really, really funny. Yeah, along the same lines as, so I think it was during the Super Bowl as well. Britney Spears I think she's singing at halftime or something, and Bob Dole is sitting in his chair with his dog. He's just petting the dog in the living room. It's a Viagra commercial, I want to say. Have you seen that? I swear to God.
You're lying.
I swear
a
to
commercial
you.
In the Super Bowl.
No, it could have been. I'm telling you, I'm not lying.
Man.
Bob Dole, political Bob Dole, right?
Right.
Yes, former Speaker of the House.
Okay, with this puppy dog.
Bob Dole. No, it's the. Let's see.
You better find this.
Is it Jessica Simpson or is it? Is it? No, I don't know who
I thought you said Britney Spears.
I think it's Britney Spears. Britney Spears.
Why don't you just type in Bob Doyle?
It's a Pepsi one.
Pepsi.
But I could swear there was a different one. Anyway, yeah. So, but he's just petting the dog while he's sitting in the chair. A little creepy, actually. I'm like, I'm not sure that was appropriate, dude. Not sure that was appropriate at all. I mean, what was she, like 20, and he was like 90? I don't know.
I don't either, man. He wasn't that old.
No, I know. Actually,
Yeah.
it was actually a funny commercial. Let's see. Worst ones. So that puppy monkey baby thing, like I said, it's creepy. I can't even really watch the whole thing. It's bizarre. Okay, there's a really funny one. There's this guy sitting at the football game. Yeah, guy. I only had like 20 more news stories to go through. I'm really glad we're not doing that because I love funny commercials for when it comes to food. This guy's sitting in the parking lot and it's game day. And it's African-American guy, and his girlfriend hands him this burger, and it's a quinoa burger, right? But he's like, Quino, I'm not sure what you are, but I ate you last week, and we won. Quino, I think he says I love you or something like that. It's quinoa, right? But, nobody knows how to spell. If you see the word quinoa spelled out, you don't know it's quinoa. You're like, quinoa. I mean, really, quinoa. I'm like,
okay.
How'd you get quinoa from quinoa?
Right.
And yeah, I speak several different languages. I speak a lot of languages. I just don't understand how they got it either. Anyway, but it's funny because it talks about how loyal fans are to their team and they'll do almost anything. So you see him take this like unexcited, but he's still smiling about his bite. He's just so unenthusiastic about eating his burger. It's really funny. Yeah, it's there's that one. What are the other ones? The Pepsi challenge. Hardly
are we
anybody gets
talking
that right.
commercials that were a failure? Or are we talking about commercials that were hits? Or are we just talking about commercials altogether?
Let's talk about some failures.
Okay. Failures.
See if I can one-up you. You go first.
You're going to have to give me time.
I know. I'm trying to think, too. That's why I said you go first.
It's funny because I don't really remember the bad ones. I remember the good ones. I have to go through my file of good commercials to be able to get to the bad ones.
Funny how that works, right? Well, hey, while we're thinking about that, actually, I don't know if you noticed, but I have these beautiful knives sitting out here. Beautiful.
Those are sweet.
They are, but there's a reason they're sitting out here. What
do you got?
Well, these wonderful knives from the Kanchang Knife Company. They were kind enough to send me 9 different knives, right? And you've seen them, right? We've talked about them. Well, here's the thing. I don't have a big knife block in here, and they don't all have this beautiful sheath, right? And you can't put knives in a drawer like that. Isn't that cool, though, how that magnet keeps that on there? You don't put knives in a drawer because what happens?
They get lost.
No,
They're like socks.
You reach in and they cut you.
Oh, that was going to be my second guess.
Yeah, so folks, never put your sharp knives in a drawer. If you do, they make little slotted holders for you to stick them in blade down. Just don't throw the really sharp ones in there, please. Just land. Oh God, I look in drawers and there's like a knife like this laying, blade up, and I'm like, that's just. I mean, I can feel that. I've cut myself so many times. I'm like, I can feel it without even seeing it or having it happen. So, and because, I don't know, we don't really need a knife block in here. We had a nice little discussion on, Monday? They're going to send me, it's called a knife rail, and they're going to send 2 of them, actually. They're magnetic knife holders, but, I'm not a fan of those in kitchens because it's typically a metal rail with a magnet that runs down between these 2 thinner rails. There's a magnolia down the center, and you just stick your knife to it. The problem is that's metal on metal. It's not good for your blade. So they have these beautiful solid walnut knife rails that have the magnet inside, so it just sticks to the wood. Anyway, so I don't know where we're going to hang those up at, but I want them in here since they've been so kind to send these, and we're going to start doing a bunch of fun stuff with them. If you don't mind, folks, go to, it's C-H-A-N-G, or C-A-N-G, C-A-N-G, Kang Shan, S-H-A-N, not Yan Can, Kang Shan.
Spell it again all over, but do it slower.
C-A-N-G.
C-A-N-G.
S-H-A-N.
S-H-A-N. Got it.
Cutlery.com.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And if you just write in, like, you could just put in C-A-N, Can-Shan, Cutlery, it'll pop up. But they have beautiful knives. They have like 12 different knife lines. I can't wait. They sent me that really nice big sashimi knife. That big, nice, really nice sashimi knife. You eat sushi?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you really, California rolls, or like you eat the real stuff?
No, I like the real stuff.
Okay, so wait a minute. What was it I asked you last week that you said you won't eat? Beef tongue?
Right, beef tongue, yeah.
Okay,
no,
but
no.
you'll
cow brain,
but
or monkey brain.
But you'll eat raw fish.
Right, because raw fish makes sense. Absolutely. Cow brain or cow tongue doesn't make sense.
Why? Well, so wait. So that's a good question. Let's talk about that. All right.
Why?
Well, we're still trying to drink. Oh, we got 20 seconds left.
Oh,
well,
conversation over.
No, real quick. So look, it's just a muscle. It's a muscle.
What?
Tongue.
Yeah, okay, great. Let it remain inside the cow's skull, man. It's not coming on my plate. I'm just saying. It's not going to happen.
Incorrigible. All right. Hey, stay tuned. We'll be right back with Laura Geen. It's Wind Down Wednesday. Don't go away.
Follow Chef Patrick Mosher on Twitter @Food Biz Pro.
Do you use the expensive blue or yellow pills to charge your sex life? Are you thinking about it? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pills deliver the exact same results for less than $3. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. And right now, radio callers will get 44 blue or yellow pills for $120 with free discreet shipping. You can save more than $700 off pharmacy prices. Charge your sex life now and save a ton of money. Call now and get your 44 pills and save over $700 and qualify for free shipping. Stop overpaying and call right now.
800-218-6473. 800-218-6473. 800-218-6473. That's 800-218-6473.
Dr. Ken Brown here, host of Gut Check Project with my co-host Eric Rieger. I've seen in my practice that Atrantil is a whole lot more than just a bloating product.
Yes, it does a whole lot more than just fix bloating because of the polyphenols that you find in Atrantil.
What are some of the things that these polyphenols do, Eric?
These polyphenols can help you have more energy, and polyphenols are great for athletes.
It sounds like it's going to help a whole lot more people than just bloating. Go to lovemytummy.com/Spoony.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-570-6630. 800-570-6630. That's 800-570-6630. Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
I found it. The Bob Dole ED commercial. I did.
Haven't we already moved on?
No. Never.
Okay.
I'm not
describe the commercial again for those who are just not joining us.
Actually, so I made a mistake. I combined two commercials, right? There was a commercial, a Pepsi commercial that Bob Dole did where Britney Spears is dancing, right? And anyway, the dog gets this guy. He's like, I know. But he did an ED commercial. You know, it might have been. I think it was right after he lost to Clinton, so he would have been like 73 years old. And it was basically because he had prostate cancer. He did a commercial where he was saying, first and foremost, I was worried about getting rid of the cancer, but secondarily, I didn't realize that some of the side effects can be ED and so on and so forth. That's what it was about. It wasn't really promoting any particular product, but that there were solutions for that.
So it was like a PSA.
Yes, but I believe that the Pepsi commercial followed not too far behind that, which was kind of the interesting part about that. Anyway, where he's creepily watching Britney Spears dance. So anyway, back to food news. All right, we're still waiting for Laura to come, but yeah. So there were some. I'm trying to think of I can't think of any terrible commercials. Oh, you know what? Something about the Jolly Green Giant ones kind of creeped me out. The guy with the green painted legs, and he was always there. Ho ho ho. Green Giant, and he just like would set the can of beans down or with a peas. Yeah. That was weird.
Mr. Clean commercials were weird too,
and they're still weird.
Yeah, just something about the animation of that guy, and it's just like, that's a little creepy. I'm just saying.
Well, it's almost like she's fantasizing about him, a little bit. Mr. Clean. That's not really a food commercial, but we'll give it to you anyway.
But it's a commercial.
I know.
And you do use Mr. Clean after you cook.
Now you might
on your floor. You could do that.
Yeah, you could, actually.
Right. Thank you.
You could.
Yes.
Hey, here's a good. What do you like to clean your kitchen with?
My wife.
I didn't say what do you like to use to clean your kitchen.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Do you have, a particular cleaning product, do you?
I'll use Pine Sol diluted in water.
Okay.
And as far as the floor goes and things like that and wiping things down, as far as the countertop goes, believe it or not, I'll use those Clorox bleach wipes. I don't know if that's really the right thing to do or not, but that's what I do. And that's real simple. That's all I do.
I really like the smell of, wait for it, Fabuloso.
Dude.
I know.
Yeah.
I think when I first moved to Texas, you could only buy that. That was like, 18 years ago. You could only buy it in the dollar stores. and it's lavender scented.
Right.
It's not really loud. It's not strong. It's really kind of mild. Did I tell you I can't wait to get my knife rails? They're going to be here this week, or they'll get them out this week to be here next week.
Say that again.
I can't wait to get my knife rails.
It's gonna be nice.
Chink. They're going to stick right wherever I put them. And it looks like Laura's on the phone. Good, because Laura, I'm glad you called today because I'm sure that people are getting really tired of my nonsense and Jeff picking on me. So, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm living the dream. You know, I got to stop saying. You know, I'm having a good day. I'm having a good day.
Good.
I don't know if you've been listening to the show at all, but we're being a little ridiculous. We were going through old Bob Dole commercials, and there were some creepy commercials there. Do you remember the one during the Super Bowl? It was the puppy monkey baby commercial.
I do not. I am so sorry. I don't remember that.
It was a Mountain Dew. It was a Mountain Dew. Yes, it was a halftime commercial during Super Bowl in 2016. It was the creepiest thing I've ever seen.
Oh.
It had like the legs of a toddler, like a 2-year-old with a diaper.
Oh, I do remember that.
Oh,
now.
remember?
I know
And the monkey
exactly
body, and then the pug head. It was strange.
Yeah.
So, you know,
that is strange.
Where
did they come up with that?
I don't know. But I feel like since it's Wind Down Wednesday, I need a bottle of wine in front of me to take that memory away. So if I did have a bottle of wine in front of me, since 4th of July is here tomorrow, you know, it's hopefully going to be warm and everybody's going to be grilling outside, not too much rain anywhere. What should we be drinking?
Not here anyway. Okay, so first thing, if you're going, like if you live where we live, everyone's going to hit water. We're going to go to a lake or the Big Beaver Lake and sit on a dock or a boat or, you know, a pool or wherever you're going to go and get wet. It's, you know, that's traditional, right? To go swimming or doing something like that, barbecue, picnic, and you want your wine to be accessible and easy. So, of course, we've talked about this before. There's tons of great canned wine. But the other thing I suggest and what I have, what I'm taking are twist-offs. So there's all these wines now have twist-offs and they're not corked, which is so easy to take. So you can chill these, put them in your cooler just with everything else, and then just twist it off as you need it. And you can twist them back on. You don't need to bring a corkscrew. So that's the first thing I suggest. And secondly is, you know, there's some great wine. So so many great ones. So it's hot. It's July. I've got 4 in front of me that I'm going to be taking to our picnic. And I've got the Z Alexander Brown Uncaged Sauvignon Blanc from the North Coast. And by the way, these are all California. Is an awesome bottle of a Sauvignon Blanc. It's not too grassy. It's not necessarily grapefruit, but it's crisp and cool and chilled. It's going to be amazing with your watermelon or your potato salad. That will be really good. So that's my first choice. My second one that I have sitting here is Stoller Family Estate from Dundee Hills, California. It's an unoaked Chardonnay. And I think
that's my favorite.
Again, that one is going to be, I picked it because I knew you would love those. And that's definitely going with us. It's great with some grilled chicken. That's going to go great with, you know, that kind of easy, you know, to drink with some food, some grilled chicken or fish. And,
that's the thing. Is like
salad, whatever.
It's summertime, right? So it's simple food. It's, you know, some greens and again, grilled chicken or, you know, something super simple on the grill. And so, you know, just a nice, simple, you know, crisp, easy to drink. Well, I like to call them picnic wines, right? That you know it's not pretentious. It's a good wine at a good price, and it goes well. It pairs well with you know, most foods. So I think that's key as well. And can I tell you what? The twist off was the most ingenious thing they ever did for wine bottles. You have no idea how many times I got to a destination and either bought a bottle of wine or had brought a bottle of wine and then didn't have a corkscrew. And I was kicking myself because I couldn't drink the wine. Or you try and take it out with a knife and it's always a mess.
Or you push them in, right? You had to push them in somehow, figure out how to push them in. It is a mess.
And then you use a pen to hold the cork in far enough to be able to pour the wine out?
Right.
Yeah, I've done that. maybe
right.
twice or 3 times.
So that's not fun. Or you can, I guess you can be clever and unbottle your uncork them and put them in like a Ziploc bag and put a hole in them and do them that way too. But whatever. We would prefer the twist offs, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
and
I think
it's eco-friendly.
So there's always the Sauv Blanc drinkers. There's always the Chardonnay. I prefer the unoaked, like you. And this is the Stoller Family Estate is awesome, really great one. So I was going to mention some price points too. The Z. Alexander Brown Uncaged Sauv Blanc is about $16. The Stoller is right around $20, so those aren't too bad. And then, of course, rosé. I'm definitely going to bring a rosé, which is also a twist-off, and I'm kind of sticking to California. So I've picked Rose Haven. It's a really nice California rosé, but in the French style. So the varietals are pretty cool. They're the Grenache rosé, Barbera rosé, Tempranillo rosé, Zinfandel rosé. And so it's a really nice, dry, beautiful pink, great little label. That'll be a great one,
Barbera's
to have with some watermelon. If we're going to be having watermelon and strawberries, like we're probably going to have fruit salad at ours.
Are you sponsored by the Arkansas Watermelon Growers Association? Because you've mentioned that a couple times now.
No, but I do. But it's just the season. We do love watermelon, and I do sell balsamics and olive oil. So we do use. I have this really great vinegar that we put over our watermelon. It's a raspberry basil vinegar. It's so good. It really brings out the brightness and the freshness of the watermelon. A little mint and a little feta. You got a great salad. And the last one I'm going to take for sure is the Folie à Deux. It's a Pinot Gris from the Sonoma coast, and it also has a twist top. And I love the Pinot Gris because we've talked about Pinot Grigios versus Pinot Gris, same grape, just as the California version. The Sonoma coast, this is just a really nice, easy to drink, also kind of crisp white wine. That would be awesome just to have as some options at your picnic, to have a few different ones, and then people can try them.
It sounds good.
And besides the cans, and the cans are awesome. They I have a vendor that just brought me a bunch of canned wine. It's the Oregon Wine Company, and they have a bubbly, a Pinot Grigio, a rosé, and a Pinot Noir. All of them.
That sounds good.
So we'll throw a couple of those in the cooler too, because those are going to be fun. If you're on your boat, you definitely need to have cans.
Yeah,
so
well, that's just, it's
you're on your boat, you need
safer.
cans, guys.
Exactly.
Right? No glass.
Yeah, I mean,
you get beer and you get that.
Now, I also, I was looking at, I love sangrias, right? And you just mentioned Barbera. You don't hear that grape very often. I haven't heard that in a while.
Exactly.
It's not something that's just super popular in this country. But anyway, I love white and red sangrias. I like them because you can make big batches. Right. You don't have to really. It's super easy, especially if you're not. Well, if you're on a boat, it's a little more difficult. But if you do want to take it on a boat, then just fill up one of those little igloo coolers with the push spout on the bottom, and away you go. It's a good way to make it. But I found this one. It's actually a white peach sangria. And tell me what you think.
Okay, because we are on the same. We're on the same brain wavelength.
Are we?
Because we had talked about this, and I was like, yeah, we need to have a sangria for sure.
Well, I mean,
go ahead and tell me your recipe.
Well, this one's. I mean, I've seen all sorts of white and red sangrias, but this one is actually. So they say to choose a classic white wine. You could use a Chardonnay or a Pinot or whatever. But then it says use a mango. There's a mango flavored rum that they use, and then they add a peach schnapps to kind of bring out the fruitiness and a little bit of sweetness. I thought that sounded pretty good. And then they diced up the peaches and put it in the glass, but then they had big peach slices in the actual pitcher. But it sounded interesting. I've never had peach schnapps, and I have a feeling it's going to be like a bit too syrupy. I maybe just put a splash of brandy in there.
You just need a very little bit of that.
Yeah.
Just like so little, right?
Yeah, just a splash, I think, is...
Just a splash. So that's something that I also had the. That's funny because I had a pineapple mango and basil sangria, which is basically the same kind of thing. A little mango juice and a little pineapple juice with we usually don't put the hard alcohol in it just because we're out, but most of them do have some sort of cordial in there. I kind of like to leave that out. Only little Cointreau sometimes, only because it gets you a little too loopy if you're out on your boat or whatever. Try to stick to the white wine. Any dry white wine, it works really good. I think Pinot Grigio is one of the best because it has a tad bit of sweetness to it, and it works really well in a sangria mixture. But the other thing what we have, which is kind of different, is we have an agave wine. And it tastes like tequila, but it doesn't have anywhere near the punch of tequila, and it tastes very much like it. And with a little Cointreau in there, and I like to use a little orange juice in my margaritas, fresh lime and fresh lime juice, and that actually is very refreshing, and that's a great thing that you can mix up. And the agave wine is cheap. Like a bottle of agave wine is like $6. So you can make basically your own version of a wine margarita with those, and that's a great thing to bring to your picnic
That sounds
or your
good.
boat day. And like you said, you can drink that in the no problem.
So, Mexico has a great number of liqueurs and alcohols that we don't really think about here. And I'm always a little leery because there's this one called Staventun, right? It's XTABENTUN with a little, the accent over the U. And it's a honey liqueur, which is actually really tasty. The problem is, the rumor is, the legend is that if you have a little bit too much, that you start to hallucinate. And so,
my goodness!
Like
the old days of the mezcal. If you ate the worm.
Yeah, right? I ate the worm. It just kind of made me gag a little bit because I was chewing it was nasty in my mouth. But I was at a friend's house, and we were all over there having dinner one time. And he was from Mexico, as was his wife, and they brought out this Staventun, and they we started drinking. They tell us the story about you start to hallucinate things flying around, and then he was messing with me. Like every 10 minutes, he'd walk by me and he'd duck real fast, like something flew by his head, and he'd swat at it. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Nothing." I'm like, "Stop messing with me!" But he kept doing it for a couple of hours. So now I'm afraid to drink it because I think it's going to happen. But I mean, I don't.
Hey, I don't blame you.
Yeah. It can't be
like, what is that? What's in there?
it can't be as bad as the old, what's the other one? The one that you can't make the real stuff anymore from wormwood. Absinthe, right?
Not mezcal. Absinthe. That's it. Absinthe. Yeah. That was like illegal for a long time.
Well, just
right?
The stuff in whatever, I forgot what it is. The stuff in wormwood, actually, it's toxic. So they still make it. You can still buy it. For a long time, you had to be a collector.
Popular still in France.
Yeah. Well, you can buy it here. You're supposed to be a collector, but they don't. The same stuff's not in there anymore. They have a way to they've either taken it out or they use something besides wormwood to ferment. But yeah, I mean, cocktail. I just love summertime's great. And for people that don't like wine, these wine cocktails are actually a really good way to kind of introduce yourself to the flavors of wine without having to drink wine, so to speak. I mean, it's kind of hidden in the background a little bit. And
then the other thing that you can add is like I have a recipe for a strawberry sangria, which is really light and really beautiful. And a bottle of dry white wine. I always start with a bottle of dry white wine. Doesn't have to be expensive. And we use some lemon lime soda in it, and limes and fresh strawberries and a little lime juice. And instead of the lime juice, I use some of my vinegar. I use a Kefir lime vinegar.
Ooh.
Just a little, just like a quarter cup of that, and just fresh strawberries and fresh limes. And it's really light and refreshing. You don't have to make them heavy, and you can add sodas to them too. Like you said, it's great for the not real wine drinker, and you want to have more of a. It's more like a wine cooler, even though it's a sangria.
Yeah,
the sangria is basically wine with fruit and fruit juice. So, and then you can put your own flavors in. Really, people can experiment. They can put whatever they want in there and make like a lemonade almost with wine, or like a strawberry lemonade, or put any kind of juices that you flavor that you like, and there's no rules.
Well, so one of the ones I really like, and this is actually a really classic kind of a classic aperitif, right? So they have there's a Cure Royale, right, which is just champagne, but it's mixed with one of my favorite cocktail components, which is cassis. Creme de cassis, which is black currant liqueur. Yeah. Oh, it's my favorite. And so there's
so good.
Yeah, exactly. You can just mix it with wine, and actually it's super simple, just cassis and good white wine. But you can mix it with again, if you put a little bit of the champagne, then it's Cure Royale. And I think if you use red wine, it's called a Cardinal. But it's really tasty.
Oh, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. And
yeah, that sounds delicious.
Yeah, I've never had it with the red wine though. It's the Cardinal cocktail, but I think it's just the two ingredients. They typically, the Cure Royale, I think they float like raspberries in it, like they do with what's the one that's made with champagne and Chambord. There's a Cure Royale, and then there's
that's a Cure Royale.
Is that a Cure Royale?
No, isn't that the Cure Royale?
I think it is.
The Cure Royale is the raspberry Chambord and champagne.
That's right. So,
and then there's one that's called like the sidecar or something that has something like a peach something in it.
No, that sounds right. Yeah,
with the champagne.
And then what's the it was really popular for like 10 years, the last 10 years, a peach, not a Melba, peach something. What's it called? It's not a daiquiri.
It's a Bellini. The Bellini?
Yeah. I mean, that like came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, all you saw on every menu anywhere at any party was peach Bellinis. Okay.
Bellinis, right. And remember, we did for New Year's Eve, we were doing those Bellinis, and people are like thinking it was a drink, and we actually did that little.
Oh, yeah.
The little caviar snap.
Yeah, so, yeah, that was fun.
With the buckwheat pancakes.
Yeah, so basically, let's tell. So I had just met you and Tom, and I was working with my business partner Barry, former business partner. He owns, let's talk about Rommel. He owns a seafood place in town. He owns Blue Fresh Fish Marketplace. But so you were one of the first clients to we were trying to get this. Barry had struck a deal, and it was actually a really good product. This beautiful paddlefish roe, which is just like basically American caviar. And it's actually really good. Some of it's kind of similar to Savruga if you get the right size berries. And so it was New Year's Eve, and you guys were getting ready for the party. It was a little early in the day, but I remember we had that little electric griddle, and we were making buckwheat pancakes, little blinis, and with caviar and creme fraiche, and we're doing little tastings.
Right.
And we had a hard time.
That was a lot of fun.
We had a hard time keeping up because people liked them. It was actually really good.
Oh yeah, they were ordering them like crazy. Remember?
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah, that was our first New Year's Eve here. So
really?
We're talking over 4 years ago, right?
Wow, yeah. I knew you were new at that point. That's right, because I remember being there for the first year that you were open. But man, things have changed since then. I mean. The whole town, but I mean, your store has gone through. So here's what I really like. You guys have gone through. You and Tom have, tried new things, right? And modified your offerings and your business plan to kind of accommodate what you thought were niches in the market. And interestingly enough, when it didn't play out, to your benefit, you quickly, I mean, you guys didn't hesitate to go back to the business model and because basically you opened the deli next door, and it just couldn't get the traffic there, so you quickly turned that into retail space. Is that where the wine shop is now, mostly?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was a deli, and now it's the wine shop. You're right. And then the back part of the deli is an event space that we rent out, and then we use for all kinds of events. From painting parties to receptions to business meetings, Rotary meets there. So
Is that in the back where the seating area used to be? where the doors close.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right, I have a business question for you, and you don't have to tell me if you don't want. What's your sales mix like? How much as a percentage of sales or do you just keep them separate? The wine bar and the vinegar olive oil. Do you know? I'm just curious. You don't have to tell me.
So I would say, no, I'll just tell you percentages. I would say that the wine bar definitely is the backbone of our business. People know us as the wine bar. And because of that, I would say that is 60% of my business, and that the retail is 40%.
Well,
so which is not too bad. I mean, I think that if we were just the olive oil shop like we thought, we probably wouldn't have made it. Like the wine bar definitely put us on the map more because people come and drink wine. Like some people drink it daily or at least once or twice a week. But you don't replenish your olive oil quite that fast.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you know, and because we're such a small town, you know, that it's a consumable, which is what we wanted to sell, was consumable so people come back. So that was part of our business plan. But also the wine bar is where people hang out, and the garden is so beautiful. It's matured. We've got trees and flowers and shrubs and plants. It's just really pretty to sit out there, and the little colored umbrellas, and, you know, people enjoy sitting there. It's like being in their own backyard. They meet their friends here. And we have plenty of regulars and newcomers every single day. So that is definitely our backbone. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was just I underestimated the volume in the retail area, actually. I was thinking it'd be more like 70-30 or 80-20. And the only reason being that, you know, once you have one glass of wine, most people probably have two. But when you look at that combined purchase price, it probably equals about one bottle of olive oil. So if you did twice as much business on that side, then you'd be 50-50. So I guess that makes sense. I was thinking the price point on the other, on the wine side was going to just be a little higher. I didn't think about calculating how many drinks per person and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah,
right.
That's good.
And that's
good
hard
mix.
to do. And then now that we have a wine shop too, now people run in like it's a holiday weekend. So people are running in and I need some wine, and, you know, they're grabbing wine and beer to go. So that's adding to our retail. You know, it was not just the olive oil. It's also the wine and beer that we sell. So that helps quite a bit for the retail side. Otherwise it would have been more like 25-75.
No, it's good to see you still growing. Yeah. You know, it's you know, and did I ever mention? I think there was something I forgot to mention a couple of weeks ago. Weren't you like Businesswoman of the Year last year in Bentonville?
Oh my gosh, I don't think so.
I do. I'm going to make sure, Laura.
I was nominated, but I didn't win.
What? Wait a minute.
I know.
Wait a minute. I don't think that's right. I think you're making something up here. All right. There's something wrong with the internet today. It's Facebook's down. There's all sorts of stuff. You got Yogi of the Month too. Look at you. That was this month.
Last month I was Yogi of the Month.
It is last month. Yeah.
I know. I love it. I love being a part of a small town because, you know, because I'm a face in the small town, you know, I get to participate in so many cool things, and I love that. You know, that's what makes it great here. You know, I support all these other businesses just as much as they support me. So I think it's fabulous. You know, it's a really fun place to live.
Yes, you weren't just nominated, you fibber. All right. Anyway, well, we got about a minute and a half. How's the family doing? Are we good?
Everyone's great. We are very much looking forward to having a day off.
I'll bet.
We're, like I said, we're going to actually have some fun. A friend of ours has a dock on the lake with a boat and jet ski and stand-up paddles and floats and stuff. We're all going out there and playing in the water and barbecuing. And like I said, I'm taking all those wines that I mentioned earlier, plus some more probably. And, you know, it's a great thing to be able to spend a little time with your family. It's good having them around. and 2 days off this week, Thursday and Sunday. Woo.
Wow.
So we actually almost have a weekend. I know.
That's a record in this business, I'll tell you. Well,
It is.
You be safe. Tell Tom I said hi, and I'm glad Jake and the whole family's doing well. Give Tom a hug from me, and anything else is from you, okay?
Will do.
All right. Happy
and
4th.
Have a great 4th.
All right.
I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks,
All
Laura.
right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. So, man, that's such a cool area to be in during the 4th of July. They have a huge fireworks presentation they do down by Crystal Bridges at the park. And it's put on by, probably the city. I don't know. I'm sure it's Walton money. Anyway, folks, yep, you've blown another 2 hours listening to me talk about food, alcohol, and you know what? Tomorrow's 4th of July. So go out there, grill something. If you're not going to grill something, eat something somebody else has grilled. And remember, it's not about what you eat, but is it really okay to put ketchup on a hot dog as an adult? That's the question. We'll talk to you next week. Have a great, safe weekend. Take care. Don't drink too much. Use an Uber if you do. Bye.